Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem. Thank you. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Douglas Orain Auditorium here at Woolmer's Boys School. My name is Omar Williams, your moderator for this afternoon's school leaving ceremony for upper sixth form. Character, personality, confidence, sportsmanship, academic achievement, spiritual development. These are all qualities of the typical Woolmerian, qualities which we proudly celebrate today. Qualities which have inspired this group of young men to, in their own way, contribute to a standard of merit and high achievement, a contribution to a legacy which is Woolmer's Boys School. Distinguished members of the platform party, specially invited guests, members of staff, parents, friends, and well-wishers, students, good afternoon. We are here to give God thanks for the blessings that He has gifted to our sons. Today, they embark on another milestone in their lives. And while some may argue that it is just the beginning, today, both gentlemen and parents, guardians alike, can temporarily breathe a sigh of relief. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, success is in the air, and today, we, the Woolmer's Boys School family, proudly bask in that success. And to the class of 2023, we say heartiest congratulations. We salute you, but remember, the peak of one hill is but the foot of another mountain. Your journey has just begun. So now is not the time to be complacent or lackadaisical. It's time to dig your heels in. Brace up, look smart, look neat. And as we often say, the sky is the limit. At this point, we will invite the address of the chairman of the board, Mr. Courtney Winter, All right, I'm sorry. The principal is here. So we will now have a welcoming, yeah, there he is. We will now have a welcoming address from the principal, Mr. Pennycook. The principal's address will be followed by the greetings from the chairman of the board, Mr. Courtney Winter, and then from our PTA president, Ms. Dejan Whiteley. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us first welcome our principal, Mr. Dwight Pennycook.
My sincere apologies. I'm coming all the way back from Montego Bay, where I had to go through it with a family emergency. So my sincerest apologies. But this is an important occasion for young men, and so we sought to start on time and to ensure that we can celebrate this juncture in their lives. And so let me greet our chairman of the Joint Woolmer's Board of Management, Mr. Courtney Winter, our newly installed president of the Woolmer's Old Boys Association, Professor Andre Spencer, our old boy and keynote speaker, Mr. Peter Goldson, president of the best PTA this side of the globe, Mrs. Dejan Whiteley, our vice principals, Mrs. Janice Jones and Mrs. Goburn, members of the Woolmer's Boys School staffs, parents, siblings, other family members and well-wishers, our class representative, Mr. Jalon Oliphant, members of the upper sixth form class of 2023. It is my pleasure to welcome us all to the 2023 iteration of our upper sixth form school leaving ceremony. We returned to full face-to-face schooling in September 2022, and each term has brought with it new and interesting challenges. We have been required to produce resilience, and we all have been called upon to persist and persevere. And certainly, we have been persisting and persevering. Our Board of Governors have continued to provide excellent guidance, advice, and oversight. Our managers have kept their shoulders to the wheel, and our old boys and our parents have been alongside us for every step of this journey. Today, these our young men exit one phase of life, and they make a bold entrance into another. We want to celebrate their journey to this point and give them some fuel for the rest of the journey that is ahead. Gentlemen, what I'm about to share as a part of this welcome, I would have shared with those who previously sat exactly where you are now sitting, going back a couple years. So a couple groups have actually heard this particular story and the use of this particular metaphor. Today I want to share the same with you. Professor Spencer, you will appreciate this. When the Panama Canal was opened in 1914, the width and depth of its locks dictated that any vessel or ship intended for regular use in the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, whether warship, cargo ship, or passenger liner, had to be built to fit the dimensions of those locks. Those ships were known as Panamax vessels. Of course, this would have placed significant limitations on the carrying capacity of ships, and by extension, the economic ambitions of businesses and countries with significant investments in shipping and maritime-related industries. However, the Panama Canal Authority in 2007 set in motion an ambitious plan, and by 2016, a new set of wider locks were constructed. And even before the completion of those locks, a new type of shipping vessel emerged. It was known as the new Panamax vessel, about 1.5 times larger than its predecessor, the Panamax, and able to carry over twice as much cargo. So why would the idea of the new Panamax vessel be applicable to you today, gentlemen? Because with technological innovations and the will of man to conquer new frontiers, your generation lives in a world where new possibilities are being thrown open to you on a daily basis, almost minutely, even as you are stepping through the doors of Wolmer's today. New information, new gadgets, new relationships, new careers, and the list goes on. A plethora of new possibilities. But gentlemen, with new possibilities come new complexities. And this is indeed the case, or was the case, with those larger new Panamax vessels. In fact, one particular aspect of shipping operations that were previously regarded as routine, became more complex. New demands were now being placed on the marine pilots, whose job it is to board a ship and safely guide it through the locks or safely into port. No longer were their prior knowledge, skills, and outlooks sufficient. A new type of pilot was now required, one that had significantly improved navigational knowledge and skills. Gentlemen, it will be no different in your journey from this point onward. The steerage to which you have been accustomed, your parents, your extended families, members of staff here at Wolmer's, all of that constitutes your steerage. And you would have been accustomed to a particular kind of supervision, a kind of advice, a kind of monitoring. But even as you step out, some of you will be going to school overseas. Others of you may live in Hall. You now will be required to be more clinical because you will now have to treat with larger things. And I'm going to call those things new Panamax things. New Panamax lives and new Panamax futures require expert piloting. Your pilot has to be current, has to be relevant and capable, or else you run the risk of suffering damage or even becoming stuck in the locks. So I charge you, class of 2023, you with your new Panamax lives and your new Panamax futures, to one, be as the wise man who discovered. Remember your Creator in the days of your youth. He's a tested, tried, and proven steerage system. He, I can guarantee you, knows how to guide a new Panamax vessel. May I also charge you to remember to sail in beauty and strength, or the beauty and strength of integrity, never giving ourselves over to the winds of expediency. May I also remind you to treasure wisdom, for it will be your gyroscope, stabilizing your progress onto even greater things. And may I ask you, gentlemen all, please set a course to discovering an expression of masculinity that empowers and beautifies our women, nurtures our children, and ultimately builds a better society. Gentlemen, as I close, be those who think creatively and honestly, work diligently and generously, so that Jamaica and your families may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play their part in advancing the lives of the current generation and those that are to come. Let us all enjoy this ceremony and continue to affirm our young men, for whom there is much ahead. Age quod agis. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you, CEO Pennycook, for inviting me to participate in this very important event. With all protocols observed, it is my distinct pleasure to bring you greetings and congratulations, young men, on behalf of the Wolmer's Board of Management. I'd like to give yourself a round of applause. In the word of Shania Twain, look like we have made it. Look how far we have come. You have come far indeed. So congratulations. I'm chairman. I'm actually the head of the school, but they gave me only 5 minutes. So in my 5 minutes that's allotted, I just want to relay a true life story. It's about a young man who sat on the veranda, which is now the administrative building before it was rebuilt, one Friday in June, several years ago. Last day of school, last day at Wolmer's actually. He was a little depressed and somewhat anxious. This young man sat there wondering what he should do with his life next. He was the head of cadets, right, had his private pilot's license, but he quietly pondered what life had in store for him after Wolmer's. Amidst his uncertainty, there were two things that this young man knew for sure. If nothing else, he wanted to elevate the status of his family, having watched his parents struggle to take care of himself and his 7 siblings, and not having many of the extras and nice things that others enjoyed all his entire life. The second thing that he was sure of was that Wolmer's had equipped him with the necessary tools to be successful so he could achieve anything he wanted. He contemplated joining the army because he had a pilot's license, which was his first career choice, or doing something else that could give a faster return for the benefit of his family and himself. Well, I'm happy to tell you that this young man is standing before you today as chairman of his beloved school, and head of a local bank. Thank you. I've also achieved my goals of elevating my family, and I have been able to enjoy many of the extras and nice things that look impossible when I was growing up. I tell you this little story, young men, because I know many of you today are sitting there wondering, what's next for me? Many of you have struggled for the last 7 years, whether financially or with issues and situations at home or in your community. But I'm here to remind you that irrespective of your circumstances, Wolmer's has sought to give you the tools that you will need to be successful at anything that you put your mind to. Like many of the great Wolmerians before us, you are now equipped to be anything in this life that you want to be. In a few years, you could be standing here as chairman, giving this speech to a future cohort of graduates. You could be prime minister, you could be governor general, or even the next NASA astronaut from Jamaica. You could be the next Lascelles Chin. May his soul rest in eternal peace. You could be the next Sean Paul, Jeffrey Dujan, Bibi Gardner, Harry Belafonte. You could be the next IMF chief. You could be the next president of the World Bank. You could be the next chief of defense staff. And the list goes on and on. With the right application and taking advantage of your opportunities, there is absolutely nothing that could prevent you from being what you want to be. To those of you who are coming out of similar circumstances as myself, I say to you, do not despair. Go and take on the world. Always remember, you are a Wolmerian. You are from the home of excellence. And remember, while you're conquering the world and accomplishing everything that you want to achieve, don't be selfish. Pull up at least one other person, especially another Wolmerian. Being educated at Wolmer's is like graduating from a US Ivy League institution. You have one up on everybody else. So make the most of it. The rest is up to you, gentlemen. In concluding, I would like to leave you with 2 quotes on success. There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failures. That is Colin Powell, the first black US Secretary of State, who is of Jamaican descent. The second quote is, success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life, but by the obstacles which he has overcome while trying to succeed. And that is Booker T. Washington, a black author and educator. So congratulations again from the Board of Management, and I hope my words were of relevance to you all. May God continue to bless and keep you and give you the health, strength, and will to succeed. Agi Quad Agis forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We now invite the PTA President, Ms. Dejan Whiteley, to bring greetings from the PTA.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Good evening, everyone, all Observed. It is always an honor and certainly a privilege to stand before you and bring greetings on behalf of the greatest PTA on earth. And I know you agree with me, so let me hear your cheer. The greatest PTA on earth, right? Let me extend hearty congratulations to the students, Wolmer's Boys School graduating class of 2023. You did it. And to the parents, Wolmer's Boys graduating class of 2023, we did it. Congratulations. Gentlemen, we are proud of you. We know that this journey has not been an easy one, but you personally, now you are sitting here victorious, looking handsome in your maroon and gold, and it is such a you see the smiles. Yes, I see the teeth. Yeah, man, grin. Your day. This opportunity to reflect on your accomplishments and bask in the glow of having reached Thank you. Oh, all right. No. All right.
Check 1, 2.
Thank you. All right. So the challenges continue, right? But we talk about perseverance. So we're here and we're happy and we're raring to go. So gentlemen, take this opportunity to reflect on your accomplishments and bask in the glow of having reached this milestone. But please remember, your learning journey should not end here. We, parents, and all within Wolmer's community are confident that your experience at Wolmer's has honed you to become better and stronger persons who are prepared to take the challenges of life head on. I see in front of me the next leaders and innovators of your generation, and so I urge you to continue to steadfastly pursue excellence. Become globally competent, highly skilled, and adaptive gentlemen. Reach for your dreams, but please, I urge you, do not forget your values. We're hopeful that you will use your skills and knowledge to create change and affect positive influence on your colleagues and society in general. It was certainly a pleasure of the PTA to have worked with and alongside you and your families, and we sincerely hope that many of the fond memories that you will have will be time that you shared with us. Know that we will continue to be here for you, your PTA, even long after you've left these walls, because once a Wolmerian, always a Wolmerian. Correct? Yes, gentlemen? Yes. Best wishes, graduates, as you take the next step. And I'm going to invite my parent members, fellow parent members, to stand and give you a rounding rouse of applause. Come on, parent members, let's stand up and applaud our gentlemen. Let them hear you, feel you. We're proud of them and show them. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you, everybody. We will now have the singing of the hymn, Great is Thy Faithfulness, and we will end I'd like to invite our guidance counselor, Mr. Norman, to lead us in the song.
And we stand together for the singing of this very, very beautiful song. Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassions they fail not. As thou hast been, thou forever wilt be. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Summer and winter and springtime and harvest, the moon and stars with their courses above, join with all nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy and love. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Pardon for sin and a peace that endureth, thine own dear presence to share and to guide, strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow. Blessings all mine with 10,000s besides. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me.
Thank you. You may be seated. We continue to ask for divine blessings, guidance and protection. We continue to ask for divine blessings, guidance and protection for our young men. Hence, to conduct the invocation component of this service, I invite Mr. Joanne Ferron to lead us in this exercise. Mr. Justin Beckford, please stand by with the afternoon scripture, which will be done immediately after the invocation.
Testing 1, 2. Good afternoon, friends, family, gentlemen. Could we bow our heads in reverence for the Most High? So, dear most righteous and eternal Father, I stand before you as a leader among leaders. I stand before you as a leader among friends, a leader among family, a leader among encouragers. We all gather here today to represent, to support, to show love and confidence in the gentlemen of our graduating class. Lord, you know how we have struggled. You know how hard we've worked to get to the point that we are in life. And Lord, I'd just like to thank you so graciously for all that you have done for us. The struggles, the myriad of trials that we have had to go through, the things that befell us along the way, the strife that we may have encountered between each other at home. Lord, you know the things that are put together to contribute to the greatness of our generation. And Lord, I'd just like to say thank you. Lord, you continue to show us that where there's a will, there's a way. You continue to show us that even though we have a support system that not everyone has. And Lord, I'd just like to thank you. I pray that you cover and protect us now, even as we are at this ceremony. Everyone knows the different parts of the island, the different responsibilities and obligations that they may have put aside to attend this ceremony today. And Lord, I'd just like to pray that you bless each and every person here and that you guide each and every one back home safely. Lord, I'd just like to put before you our futures, the things that we have in our mind, the intentions that we expect to fulfill. Lord, I just pray that you bless us, keep us, and let your grace and your mercy follow us for the rest of our lives. In your holy and precious name I pray. Amen. Juan Pablo.
Good evening. Check. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today's scripture reading will be taken from Psalms 29, verse 1 to 4. Give unto the Lord, O ye mighty. Give unto the Lord glory and strength. Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. Worship the Lord in beauty of holiness. The voice of the Lord is upon the waters. The God of glory thundereth. The Lord is upon many waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. This is the word of the Lord.
All right. Thank you, Joanne. And thank you, Justin. Coming to us at this time to give a charge to their classmates are Javon Hyman and Jalen Oliphant. It must be noted that Javon is our head boy and leader of the prefecture, while Jalen has been the top performer for 2 consecutive terms, and is also a senior prefect. Help me to welcome Javon and Jalen.
To our chairman, to our chairman, Mr. Courtney Winter, Principal, Mr. Dwight Pennycook, Vice Principals, Mrs. Karen Goburn and Mrs. Janice Jones, Guest Speaker, Mr. Peter Goldson, and other specially invited guests, Master of Ceremony, teachers, parents, and my fellow graduates, good afternoon. My name is Jalen Oliphant.
And my name is Javon Hyman.
We must say that this is a humbling experience to be standing here delivering both the reflection and the charge to the graduating class of 2023. We would like to extend our heartiest congratulations to the graduates. Sometimes some of us didn't know if we would be here, but yet we are standing here today. We must also congratulate the parents and teachers who ensured that we were equipped with the necessary skills and resources to reach this far.
I'll start off by telling you all something I don't think anyone here knows. Although I'm not from Wilmot's Prep or even Kingston St. Andrew, the little prep school I attended in Lyson St. Thomas was, interestingly enough, built on the foundation of Wilmot's due to the founder and principal, Mr. Franklin Holness, being a proud yet humble Wilmerian. Our school colors were burgundy and yellow, which, believe me, are quite close to maroon and gold. Most importantly, our motto was doing our best to be the best, which I suppose is quite clearly based on our whatever you do, do it to the best of your abilities. A clear link resides here, and by the half point of this speech, you'll all understand just how crucial this point of unification is to what makes our Wilma's legacy so potent and powerful. A popular quote we all know postulates, "The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but while their companions slept were toiling upward through the night." These well-known words by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow is, however, most certainly not what our journey at Wilma's has been like. Unity. That's what wholesomely encapsulates the time, and that's what wholesomely encapsulates the time our trailblazing year group spent at this institution. Any toiling we did was done together. Whether we're referring to in first form, when we'd try our hand at sneaking into some upper school socials, or in sixth form, when we'd gather on Google Meets all through the night to prep for exams. With us, the results have consistently been the same. Success. So yes, we did succeed in finding our way into those upper school socials back in the day, but most importantly, we also succeeded at not simply passing our end-of-term exams, not simply acquiring a few blue reports, but in fact our unity, our teamwork led to us attaining the highest number of blue reports for this academic year. Something that a sixth form cohort has never before done. And that in itself deserves a round of applause. Us topping the blue report count in first form was as individuals, doing our best in an unfamiliar space. However, topping the count in sixth form is an entirely different feat. We did that through brotherhood, and so we shall continue. One thing that's become clear during our time here at Wilmot's isn't just, one thing that's become clear is that our time here is that, one thing that's become clear during our time here is that Wilmot's isn't just a place, it's the people. The classmates, the brotherhood, whose journeys are inextricably linked with our own, and of course the timeless memories, which will never cease to put smiles on our faces. Brutal bottle wars in first form, where they'd miss you by barely an inch, then having to stand in the sun as punishment by Mrs. Campbell-Jones, Mr. Port, legendary classes, crazy class ball games, and having to rush and hide the ball before our teacher comes, navigating treacherous lunch lines back in lower school, not to mention the massive increase in our individual entrepreneurial pursuits as well, of course. The list goes on. Wicked coin scrambles which would send the whole class into disarray, witnessing bros fight one day, then make up and laugh with each other the next. Not to mention becoming absolute experts at the famous game where double six poses are practiced. Of course, we got to mention our one and only Godfather Hardware, who was always there to help out. One Hardware. Caton Daly, who would repeatedly leave us stunned by effortlessly achieving both academic and athletic excellence without end. Our boy Malik Matthews being an absolute trailblazer, no doubt the first Ulmerian to have a Wilma's girl carry him in her arms instead of the other way around. You go, bro. We also learned firsthand how carefully we got to be around some of these girls because believe me, competing against them in the Battle of the Sexes competition was no easy feat mentally. Boy. But we can confidently say prepping with them for the sixth form concert wasn't too bad. Special big up to the guys who found love with a Wilma's girl. And stay strong to all the guys who are yet to find the one. We eventually reached a point where even if a classmate you've never really spoken to got rejected or dissed by a girl, you'd be the first to defend him and cheer the bro on. These 7 years have undoubtedly molded us into family. These 7 years have undoubtedly molded us into brothers. As we now venture off into university and the working world, we, in fact, won't be leaving Wilma's. Just as my prep school principal, Mr. Franklin Holness, did, will undoubtedly and unreservedly be bringing the spirit of Wilma's with us wherever we go. The spirit of Wilma's with us wherever we go. We are Wilma's. We are unity. Therefore, Wilma's is unity. And in unity, there will always be strength. So let's never forget this unending spirit of strength that we each will always have access to.
Although the journey was fun, it was difficult. But we have completed the journey. This chapter has come to an end. Along the way, we all have learned many things that has prepared us for our future endeavors. And we are all grateful for being a part of this institution that taught us these necessary life lessons. As a year group, I expect us to build a legacy that surpasses those who would have gone before us and challenges those who are to come. Our year group has proven to be resilient in the face of adversity, and this is why our legacy at this institution will not be forgotten. Bear with me. We have started our legacy by doing what no other sixth form could do. We topped the school by having the most blue reporters. And this will be hard for any other sixth form to come. With this great achievement, it shows how much of a difference we are and how dedicated our year group is to achieving the unthinkable. Some of us might not have contributed to this legacy, but I stand here today to tell you that it is never too late. As Jim George said, it is not how you start that's important, but how you finish. We may not be the best in our field, and we may be discouraged, but all we need to do is take one step to start our journey, one step to start our legacy as individuals. You will have shortcomings, and there will be mistakes, but the difference between us and the others as Wolmerians is that we will always learn from those mistakes. As we go to various parts of the world, I urge you to keep close to your dear brothers. We should look out for our brothers because we all have maroon and gold in our veins. We should be united because we all identify as Wolmerians. I implore you that we add to the legacy we started in September. Our year group should have the most lawyers, the most doctors, the most entrepreneurs, engineers, and politicians. When building on this legacy, we should remember the acronym that is famous by our principal, CARE, which stands for Courage, Affirmation, Regard, and Excellence. We do possess these characteristics, and because of that, I can say without any doubt that we as a year group will be successful. As a top achiever for the year group, I charge you to be persistent, dedicated, hardworking, because we need these characteristics in order to build on our legacy as a year group.
Go. And as your head boy, I charge you to be proud of the journey you've taken thus far, confident in your ability to overcome the challenges to come, and be forever cognizant of the fact that we can achieve more together than apart. We've laughed together, we've learned together, we've strived together, we've grown together. We've even cried together after sadly losing our brother. That togetherness, which we've greatly become capable of, will be the key to not simply surviving in this world, but in fact, thriving.
In closing, I must share a scripture with you. Philippians 4, verse 13. I can do all things through Christ, who strengthens me. This serves to remind us that we can set our legacy, and we can do anything we put our minds to.
We'll close with 5 simple words. Go forth and be great. Age quod agis.
agis. Thank you.
Check.
Thank you, Jalen, and thank you, Javon. Ladies and gentlemen, give them another round of applause. We will now be graced with an item from the class of 2023. This will be directed by our music teacher, Mr. Shardon Ray.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
Story of my life, ordinary person just like you. If you take a look inside, you see the great things that people do. Changing lives day and night, but nothing I do ever makes the news. Still I have to do what's right, to the King of all kings all praises due. Yesterday I was on the train, a little boy asked me my name. He said, sir, I've seen you before, tell me who are you? I said, I am a legend that you never heard of before. He said, I am a lion, but you never heard me roar. I am a hero that nobody celebrates, but if one person remembers my name, that means I made a change. That means I made a change. I'm the man who cooks the food and feeds the street people in the afternoon. I'm the man with the broom sweeping the halls of your son's preschool.
I'm the soldier who's up all night, making sure everything's alright. And if you ask me, I'm quite fine being an ordinary person doing what's right.
Yesterday at the football game, a little girl asked me my name. She said, sir, I've seen you before, tell me who are you? I said, I am a legend that you never heard of before. They said, I am a lion, but you never heard me roar. I am a hero that nobody celebrates, but if one person remembers my name, that means I made a change. On the ocean of fame, I'm an unknown sailor. I'm the percussionist playing with the whalers, the one with the shaker, the mover and shaker. My name wasn't on the front of the paper, but me no cater. Much more than the work is greater. Creation glorifies creator. So all deeds done are in the name of my maker.
Said I am a legend that you never heard of before. Said I am a lion, but you never heard me roar. I am a hero that nobody celebrates. But if one person remembers my name, that means I made a change.
I'm a legend.
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 Means I made a change.
Check 1, 2. More volume. Check 1, 2. Check. Let's see if them are wrong.
Thank you, gentlemen. That was well done. Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for these gentlemen. Job well done. We here at Woolmer's pride ourselves in producing some of the finest prospective movers and shakers of this nation. As we alluded to earlier, we seek to produce young men who can live up to the principles, core values, and the very ethos upon which this noble institution was established. We seek to produce young men who are pursuing excellence and leading by example. At this time, I invite Mr. Shane Williams to introduce our guest speaker for this afternoon's session. Mr. Shane Williams.
Testing. Chairman, Mr. Courtney Winter. Principal, Mr. Dwight Pennycook. Vice Principals, Mrs. Janice Jones and Mrs. Karen Goburn. Other specially invited guests, Master of Ceremony, Mr. Omar Williams, teachers, parents, and my fellow graduates, good evening. Firstly, I want to say that it is a privilege and an honor to be selected to conduct the introduction to the guest speaker. Recently, I was reading the great set of books from the Bible. And I want to highlight a certain passage in one of my favorite books. It's from the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 22, and it reads, "Without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed." And this verse is an appropriate verse to help me introduce our guest speaker for this evening. To listen to what this advisor, this counselor will say to us and help us accordingly. Maybe after I read a little about him, from his impressive achievements and works, maybe he will gain a client or two from the audience. He is Mr. Peter Stanley Goldson. He is not simply a Wilmerian, but also a former head boy and proud former house captain of the Harrison House. He is an attorney at law by profession and is the senior partner of the largest law firm in Jamaica, Myers, Fletcher, and Gordon. He attended the University of the West Indies as a University Open Scholar. He also holds a bachelor's degree in civil law from St. John's College, University of Oxford, which he attended as the Rhodes Scholar for Jamaica in 1985. He is a leader in his own right, chairman of the advisory board of the Company's Office of Jamaica, deputy chairman of JIFSA, Jamaica International Financial Services Authority, former Jamaican and Caribbean secretary to the Rhodes Trust, secretary to the Rhodes Scholar Selection Committees, and honorary consul general for the Kingdom of Sweden in Jamaica. Has he impressed you already? Ladies and gentlemen, please make him feel welcome. Returning to his alma mater, I present to you all Mr. Peter Stanley Goldson.
Chairman Winter, Principal Pennycook, PTA President Whiteley, Chairperson Williams, President Spencer, distinguished guests, sixth formers and teachers, family and friends, good afternoon.